Welcome to the Wakefield Doctrine, the theory of clocks, Scots, and Rogers. This is a supplemental video post to supplement today's regular post at the Wakefield Doctrine. I believe I made mention in the title of two forms of explanation. Topic of said post and this video is how to work the Wakefield Doctrine, how to learn the Wakefield Doctrine, the best approach to fluency in the Wakefield Doctrine. Fluency, by the way, is our term for when you know this thing so damn well that you don't even have to think in your head, okay, is this a clock, Scott, or Roger? It all sort of happens automatically, like any other language. You do it eventually, you start thinking in it. Okay, so, but the actual written post today was addressing the concerns of a number of readers, specifically Val and Sarah, who wrote in comments, basically, hey, what the hell? Everybody seems to have it. I think I've got it. What the hell? And I went at kind of at lengths in my post to remember the early days in the blog, as it is often the case in many people's blogs. The early days are full of mistakes and fun and experimentation and failures and just a lot of stuff that, as time goes by, at least from my experience, I find that I'm being more careful and cautious and don't want to screw this thing up. Don't want to offend any, look at that truck. Any readers and such, and the result is a nice, stable kind of thing, but I am prepared to believe, and I choose to believe, that I lose something by doing that. So we'll try to get back to the basics, which is all about the new reader. Anyone out there listening to the sound of my voice and reading along in the accompanying text should be able to read the doctrine in one sitting, meaning go through a bunch of different blogs, get the principles, use it, have fun with it. That's the goal. That's always been the goal of the doctrine. So here it is in oral form. Doctrine. Basically, we talk about three worldviews. Everybody lives in one of three personal realities. We call them worldviews. Other people call them personal realities. It's that part of the world that is yours and not theirs. You know, it's subjective. There's a lot of terms for it, but I suspect everybody gets what we mean by personal reality. So we have three of those. We all get born. We all get born with the potential, the capacity, the capability of living and thriving in any of these three worldviews. For reasons not yet understood, we end up in one of the three. We develop in one of the three. We become adults in one of the three worldviews. The three worldviews are that of the outsider, aka Clark's, the life of the predator, them Scots, and the herd member, the people who know that the world makes sense and spend their lives demonstrating that. We all grow up in these three worlds. Now here's something I didn't put in print. These are realities. We call them personal realities. These are real. When I talk about, being an outsider, it's not like, I think I'll mumble today and hunch my shoulders, and while I'm at it, I'm going to be intimidated by attractive people. Yeah, that sounds like fun. No, that's not what worldviews are about. Worldviews are, we're proposing anyway, worldviews are things, places, realities in which those conditions exist, and we are that person. When most personality theories talk about traits, behaviors, acquired and otherwise, a long list of things, they usually ask you, hey, what do you like? Favorite colors, favorite foods, favorite people, that kind of stuff. We don't do that here. In a sense, we're not even concerned with the individual at the Wakefield Doctrine when it comes to personality types. All we want to know is, how does a person relate themselves to the world around them? Do they relate themselves as a outsider would? Do they relate to the world around them as a predator might? Do they relate themselves to the world as a Roger, herd member would. That's all we're concerned about. So in a way, this is why we say you can't break it and you can't get it wrong. It pre-exists. It's there. It's a setup. It's a perspective. You know, the other thing I'll advise to new readers, striving to understand the doctrine, and I know because I do it myself, you get frustrated and say, God damn, this thing, I've almost got it, they got it wrong. Chill. It doesn't matter that much. It works. It's fun, but if it's not fun, then it's not working for you. So don't worry about it. It'll either come to you or it won't. Life goes on. I mean, geez, guys, we're talking about a personality theory here. We're not talking about nuclear surgery. Anyway, so you got those three worldviews. You grow up, and then back to our personality types. I grew up in the world as an outsider would. I developed strategies and ways of dealing with the world around me appropriate to that. There are successful strategies too. That's the other thing about the doctrine. One of the coolest things about the doctrine is that if you really get into it, you're going to be forced to accept the fact that you may not know about the other person, meaning why they behave a certain way. Let me rephrase that. With the worldview approach, you have to assume that there's a reality that a person, if you don't understand it, the reality of the other person might be different from yours, and until you can appreciate their reality, don't bother judging them, because you're judging on facts that are not available to you. That's the big thing about the doctrine. We're looking to find a way, a perspective, to be able to see the world as the other person is experiencing it. And we're proposing there are three different ways of that happening. So anyway, back to the three, Clark, Scott, and Rogers. So you learn them. You'll learn all about how clocks act. You'll learn about Rogers on their bicycles with the little mirrors and the water bottles and the stop signs and the blinking lights and the cushiony helmets and the corporate logos all over the spandex das. You'll learn about Scots. God bless our Scots. They're fun. They're exciting. They're kind of scary. Great friends, horrible enemies. Actually, no, let me take that back. Great friends, horrible opponents. Somebody just recently, I think it was Cindy, said something to the effect of, we're talking about mothers, her mother having a look in her eye, and when she said something. And that's the whole Scotian experience right there. When you run into a Scot, you'll know by the look, the way the appearance. They have a way of looking at the world as a predator would, which promises undefined consequences. Pick a Scot, any Scot. They all have that. How far does the crazy go? And they're not going to tell you. You're going to have to get into it with them to find that out. That's why Scotian women are so enticing, because they promise untold good things. And why Scotian guys in the fight, you're thinking, geez, this guy is not going to stop at anything. So that's what you do with the Wakefield Doctrine. I'm going to keep this short because I'm running long. So you learn all of those things, then you look around. I'll give one caveat here. You look around your world, and eventually you will start to see Clark, Scotts, and Rogers all around you. And it might get a little creepy at first, because you'll be thinking, what the hell? How do they know how to do that? They must be reading the doctrine. And then they deny it. And then you get even more creeped out, because especially when they start to do things that you didn't even know Rogers do, but by knowing the doctrine, you recognize something as a Rogerian way of relating, or you'll see a Scotian gesture, and it's like, holy shit. The warning I'll put on this is, once you sign up, once you get fluent enough, conversant enough in the doctrine, you will see Clark, Scotts around, Rogers all around you. The warning is, it seems like you might have a little problem not seeing them after you started. Just thought I'd mention that out there. So, ask us questions.